Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Millie and I'm the person behind link lettering. Today's video is a tutorial on how to do a DIY pegboard. I don't know about you, but I absolutely love pegboards. They just look so cool but also really functional, and I've been wanting one for ages, especially for my packaging area. And we're finally in a new studio where it is a little bit more practical to have a pegboard, so I thought I'd jump at the chance to make one. I've seen loads of pegboards online that you can buy ready-made, but I found that like some of the fixings weren't quite right with what I wanted to do, or they were really expensive. So I've decided to dive in and make my own pegboard. So I'm just going to share with you a couple of the bits that I've got ready for this pegboard. It is going to be an ever-evolving project. I don't think it's ever going to be kind of complete because it's always going to be adapting to what I'm offering in terms of my business. But I just thought I'd show you the base of how I'm creating this pegboard and take you along for the journey. So first things first is the actual pegboard. So I did see a couple of people bought just boards and then drilled their own holes in, but I ain't got time for that. After a little bit of searching around, I found this board. So this is from a company called Lasersmith UK, and I absolutely love it. It's super sturdy. I will say now that this is my second one from Lasersmith UK. The first one I received in the post did arrive damaged, unfortunately, and it wasn't something that I could easily fix, and it would have looked bad on the outside. And because I'm trying to make this all pretty and cute, I felt like it didn't work. However, Lasersmith UK's customer service is amazing. They got back to me straight away. They were very apologetic. Even though it wasn't their fault, I think it just got damaged in transit. And they sent me a new one, which is really kind of them. So I definitely recommend using Lasersmith UK because they are super efficient and their products are super good quality as well. Next, I've got this big batten. So this is what I'm going to be using to fix the pegboard to the wall. I want to make sure there's a little bit of space between the pegboard and the wall, so when I hook things in, it's not catching the wall at all. So this chunky piece of wood is really going to help with that. So I need to trim this down to size, and then I need to paint one side of it because it's going to be on show when people walk in the door, and I just want to make sure it's all a nice pretty colour. So I think I got this from B&Q. And it's 27mm by 34mm by 2400mm. So as I said, I need to trim this down before I paint it. And basically we're going to fix these bits to the wall, and then we'll fix the pegboard to these wood bits. Next up we have this wooden plank. So I got this to create shelves for my pegboard. I'm not going to be putting anything too crazy heavy on it, of things like my washi tape dispenser. I just wanted a little shelf to put things like that on, so I don't have anything on my packing desk, so that can be nice and clear for packing orders. This is quite long, as you can see. I'm definitely going to be trimming this down. I probably won't be using much of this wood, to be honest, but I couldn't get anything smaller. It wasn't too expensive, I don't think. I think it was like 7 or 8 quid. So I'm gonna chop this into a couple of different shelves so I can have it for my pegboard. And then in terms of attaching things to the pegboard, I bought a big multi-pack of fixings that are perfect for pegboards, and it's actually perfect for this pegboard. A lot of the fixings are the perfect width, and they come with things like pegs and hooks. They also come with little boxes. I'm not a fan of the colour of these boxes, so I will be spray painting them another colour. As you can see, all these fixings attach on to the pegboard, and you can change the layout really easily. That's what I love about a pegboard, is that it's totally adaptable. I wanted to paint the pegboard in my brand colours because this room is very white and I just wanted to inject a little bit of colour into it. Now my brand colours are quite bright, and I felt like if they were super bright then it would feel a bit chaotic because there's going to be a lot of things on this pegboard. So for the pegboard itself, I'm going to be painting it in this furniture velvety smooth paint, which is a good home paint, and the colour is Killarney, I think I'm saying that right, and it's a flat matte paint, and it's like a light tealy turquoise, so it's like a light version of my brand colour. I'm really excited to see what it actually looks like on the board. And then for the wooden shelves that I'm cutting down, I'm going to be using the Good Home Walls and Ceiling Colour Tester. I just got a little colour tester because I didn't think I'm going to need that much paint for this. And I got it in the colour Hyogo. Hyogo? Again, can never say paint names. So this is a light pink colour, and I think it will complement really nicely to the light tealy turquoise, and again, it's like a muted version of my brand colours. And then for the little grey plastic boxes that came with my fixing set from Amazon, I am going to spray paint them in a light pink as well. So I've just got the Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch multi-purpose spray paint. So it's a quick drying spray paint, and I got the colour Candy Pink. It's also a gloss finish. Matte would have been better, but they didn't have matte, and I'm still happy with this colour. It actually matches really well with the paint pot tester, so hopefully it will match really well in real life. So first things first, I need to measure out the wood for this bit, and then get them cut. And then once they're cut, I can start painting. I'm going to be painting outside because this flat is lovely and new. Don't want to get paint everywhere. It's also a gloriously sunny day today, so perfect excuse to get outside and enjoy the sunshine. Let's get started.
So I start off by measuring the support batten. I just need 3 sections that are the same height as the pegboard. Then I'm sawing up the batten, and I'm also sawing up the shelf, which I've also measured. So I've measured a larger shelf and 2 smaller shelves, and they will be going on the pegboard. Now it's time to paint, and oh my god, look at that colour. It is beautiful. So I'm using a paint roller to paint the pegboard. This is just so it doesn't get too thick in paint over the holes. You will see later though that I didn't quite manage that. It's also a little bit quicker than a paintbrush, and it goes on a lot smoother. I'm now sanding down the batten, and I'm also going to start sanding down the shelf. And this is just because where it was sawed, it was quite a rough edge. So it just needs sanding down at the edge so there's nothing sticking out and it's not too sharp. So I'm just sanding down the shelf here as well. Next, I am painting the shelves with this lovely light pink colour. I absolutely love it. I started using the brush in the sample pot, but actually realised that that wasn't very practical, so I got a bigger brush to do the rest of the shelf. So I'm painting every single side of the shelves. Obviously I need to let some sides dry before I paint the other sides. Now I'm painting the support batten. So this one will be seen as you walk in the room, so I'm just painting it the same colour as the pegboard, just so it all blends in really nicely. So you can see here I got a little bit too much paint on the pegboard, so there's lots of paint in the holes. So to fix that, just get a little bit of tissue to pull the paint out. Next, I'm spray painting these grey plastic boxes. When you do this, just make sure that you've got it on like an old sheet or something, and especially if you're doing it outside, then make sure you are considerate of where the wind is blowing so the residue doesn't blow everywhere. So everything's had its first coat, and I'm just going to let this dry, and I'll come back in a few days and finish off the painting.
Hi guys, so it is a few days later. I painted all of the little bits for the pegboard, and then I let it dry, and I did another coat a couple of days after that, just to make sure that it was painted all nicely. So this is how the pegboard has turned out. It's a little bit more minty green in real life compared to the camera, but I absolutely love it. And for this pegboard, I've actually painted the side here, but I haven't really painted any of the other sides, partly because I'm lazy, but also because the only side that's really going to be on show is this side when you walk into the room. So I don't see the point of painting all of it. I also have not painted this side because nobody's going to see that. I then have the shelves, which I have painted all over, and I absolutely love the colour and how these have turned out. Some of the sides are a little bit more rough and ready than the other side, so I'm just going to make sure they're positioned the correct way around when I put them on the board. I think this pink and this light green go so nicely together. I love that they're like my brand colours, but they're not too intense and in your face, so it's not going to look too crazy busy when I've put lots of stuff on this board. I've also painted these little boxes. So I use a spray paint for this, but actually I probably should have used a spray primer first before spray painting these, as I'm a little worried that these are going to scratch and like crack a little bit, but I'm going to give it a go. I don't think these fit very well in this particular pegboard either. I think my pegboard's a little bit too thick for these to fit in, but we'll see if they work. But if not, I still really like the colour of these, and they match really nicely with the shelves, even though they're two completely different paint colours. If they don't work on the pegboard, I'm definitely just going to use these as little... If they don't work on the pegboard, I am still going to use these. I am going to be launching lots of stickers soon in my shop, and these make perfect little storage solution for stickers. So the next thing I've painted is this kind of support beam, and I've painted this side and this side because it's a little bit wider on this side compared to this side, and I wasn't sure which way round it would be best to attach to the wall. So I thought I'd do both just in case. The reason I've painted just these two sides is because this is going to be on the wall, and when you walk in you'll be able to see it. So I just wanted to make sure it was the same colour as the board, hence the same edge that I've painted on the pegboard as well. I've also got some of these other battens, but I haven't painted them because they're not going to be on show anywhere. They're just going to be hiding behind the pegboard. So next job is getting these attached to the wall in the right place, and then once we've attached these to the wall, we can attach the pegboard to these bits. And then once I've done that, I can style it, which I'm very excited to do.
So we're starting off with just getting the right placement for the pegboard and making sure it's level. And then we're just marking that area with a pencil just so we know where the battens will go. Next we are drilling into the battens just so it's got a hole in already. We don't want it to split when we drill it into the wall. And now we're just marking where the holes for those battens are so we know where to drill into the wall. Now it's time to drill into the wall, and I really recommend putting like a little bag or an envelope under where you're drilling so it can catch all the dust, and that means it's easier to clean up afterwards. Our walls are pretty soft, so the bearded one is being really careful with how he's drilling into the walls. And then we're just putting a wall plug in so the screw has something to fix into. Now it's time to screw the support battens into the wall. We used quite long screws because the battens are quite thick and we needed to make sure it went all the way through the batten and into the wall. Now we're just double checking the position of the pegboard before we put the middle support batten in, just to make sure everything is lined up okay. And now it's time to triple check that the pegboard's all in the right place and then screw it to the battens. So I didn't think I'd be able to see this end of the pegboard as it's away from the door. However, when I'm sat at my desk I can really easily see it, and I just wanted it to blend in a little bit. So in hindsight I should have painted this side as well, and actually in reality I probably should have just painted all sides of the pegboard and all the battens. As you'll see here, I painted one side of the pegboard and then we put the pegboard on wrong. Now I'm just getting out all the fixtures that I bought off Amazon. A link for this will be in the description below. There's a couple that I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with, but I'm definitely going to hold on to them just so if I need them in the future, then I have them. Now it's time for the most exciting part. I'm just looking to style up this pegboard and see where everything goes. For the shelves, you can see that I'm using these metal fixings, and then I can just place the shelves on top. The shelf is a little bit wider than the metal fixing, so it does mean the shelves lean back a little bit. I actually quite like how this looks because it means that if I put anything on it, it's less likely to fall off because the shelf is leaning back. However, if you're not a massive fan of this, you might want to get a smaller width shelf just so it fits within those metal supports. So now I'm just attaching this string to the pegboard. Basically, I have a lot of lovely pins from small businesses, but I really like the backing cards as well as the pins, so I haven't wanted to take them off, and I've been thinking of a way that I can display them. And I thought that the pegboard would be perfect, as I can see it easily from my desk, and it's totally interchangeable, so if I want to mix things up, put different pins in different places, then I can. And I absolutely love how this looks, and I love that it's all of my favourite small businesses. So some of the single fixings a little bit wobbly, but with the pack comes these kind of fastenings, and that means that you can make it fixed to the board so it won't wobble around or fall off when you take items off the hooks. And of course I have to have a plant on there. I'm also just adding my stickers onto these clipboards. This is just such a handy way for me to have them on display so I can easily pack up orders. I've decided I'm not entirely happy with the placement of some of these shelves, and that's the beauty of this pegboard, is that if I don't like something, I can easily move it around. Next up, I had a genius idea to add some fairy lights to this board. So these are actually lights that are meant to go into a glass bottle, and I'm just using 2 sets here. What I've done is got the lights hidden at the top and bottom, so it just glows behind the boards, and then they are shown on the sides. I really like how this looks.
So there we have it, a DIY pegboard. I absolutely love it. I love how the pink and the mint green go really nicely together, and it works well with my brand colours. It adds a little pop of colour to the wall without it being too intense, and therefore it doesn't look too crazy cluttered with everything that's on the pegboard as well. As I've mentioned already, I got this pegboard from Lasersmith UK. This is not an advert, by the way. I just think that their products are really good quality and they've got really great customer service. So the board that I got was the 500 by 1000 mil, and this came to just under £25. And then with the wood and the paint, that came to about £35. And then the metal fixings from Amazon were just under 18. So in total, this pegboard came to just below £80. I know that sounds like quite a lot, but I found that a lot of pegboards were super expensive and they weren't as big, and also it felt really restrictive with the fixings that you could have for it. You had to pick particular fixings, therefore it didn't really make it interchangeable further down the line. I like that the large amount of fixings that I got from Amazon are super flexible, therefore if I want to change this up further down the line then I can, and I'm not having to buy more expensive accessories. In terms of the cost, you could totally make this cheaper. So Lasersmith UK actually do a smaller board which is 600 by 400, and that is a little bit cheaper. You of course don't necessarily need to get the shelves, you could just use metal fixings, and obviously the paint was a little bit pricey too. You could probably get cheaper paint if you just want to paint it white, for example, or it actually did look quite cool unpainted if you want that kind of raw wood finish. One thing that I probably wouldn't do in hindsight is spray these little plastic boxes. These little boxes just don't fit into this pegboard. I think the pegboard is a little bit too wide for the fixings to go in, and therefore I'm not really able to use these boxes on the board. I am still going to be using them for storage for my stickers. I'll just probably keep them in drawers, so they don't really need to be spray painted. So that would have saved a little bit of money not having to buy the spray paint. I think you can get all the metal fixings without these little plastic boxes as well. So if you did want to get this pegboard, but you didn't want to get all of these little plastic boxes, then have a little hunt around Amazon. You might be able to find some that don't have these boxes. I am so happy with how this has turned out though. I love that it's so easy to use, and it's taken all of my packing equipment off my packing table, so I can save that for actually packaging my orders and it not becoming a massive mess. I've obviously created this pegboard specifically for my packing area, but you could totally create your own unique pegboard. Perhaps you are a seamstress and therefore you have a lot of ribbon or fabric, or perhaps you have a lot of vinyl. The metal fixing that I've used for my purple scoring board would be perfect for holding rolls of vinyl as well. In the future, I may change this up so it has a different function entirely as my business changes and grows. And that's what I absolutely love about this pegboard, is that it's so adaptable. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, then please give it a massive thumbs up because that really helps my little channel grow and it enables me to continue doing free content for you guys. If you want to see more videos like this or studio vlogs or other tutorial videos, then please hit that subscribe button because you'll get to see lots of lovely content from me. And if there's any particular videos that you'd love me to do, then let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you very soon. Bye!